Hello, it's time to make that video on Asphalt and my opinion on it. I will go through all the games and I'll tell you what I think of them. I guess I'll also tell you what my top 3 are. So yeah, enjoy my verdict on this. Asphalt 1. Asphalt 1 is one of my favorites. It's also the first one, and that would mean naturally it should be the one that's not as good because they would learn from later games. However, I like the steering style in that game, and I like the more realistic graphics in that game. Sort of like a darker tone, more realistic textures and things like that, which they didn't really carry over. If you look in the second, all the way up to, I'd say around the 8th or 7th game, the textures are very cartoony and light and all that. But yeah, this one was more darky, like Need for Speed or whatever, that kind of thing at the time. The handling is different. It's not as slidey as the newer games are, but yeah, I kind of like it. I also like the sliding style, because it got better as the games went on. But this game I think shines the most in its. I like the car selection very much, even though it's not that big compared to the next games. And the customization is also fantastic, and the career mode they have is very good. It's as good as the second game, because I feel like the career modes in the first and second games are definitely not as good as you continue. When it comes to the second game, it's very good. It's a great sequel. It has enough in it to be a sequel, I think. You have new tracks. You have bikes, which is an awesome addition. You also had like a nice view for the bikes. You can see the like the front, somewhat like a cockpit view in a way. Also, the customization was there. The customization was very good, as good as the second one actually, maybe even better. I'm not sure. Also the structure of the career mode was even better. So yeah, and even more tournaments to play, more cars, more everything basically. It was just full of content, and it started the drifting style and the even less realistic style. I also brought cops in the game, which became a mainstay, which was nice. And yeah, I really like the second game. And in some ways I feel like it is a little bit better than the newer ones, mainly control wise, but yeah. Third game, I didn't play this one as much as the others, however I still think it's okay. It's kind of worthy, I guess. It's a stripped down version of the second game, so naturally it's not going to be as good. Less cars, less tracks, lower frame rate even, and at least on the N-Gage and the Nokia I played it on years ago. But it's not that good, honestly. It's just worse. There's not much to say about it. It's not a bad game, but it's just lacking. There's no reason to play this game unless you didn't have a DS at the time. And the fourth game I reviewed recently. I like it. It's very good. I recently finished it a few days ago when I picked it up after reviewing it. And it's very good, especially on the content side of things. Has enough tracks. Has a few game modes, more so than the previous games, which is nice. You have like I'd say 5 or 6 different game modes, which was a nice feature to see that it tried to keep variety in the game. Car selection is very good. A lot of bikes, a lot of cars to choose from. It seems like there's more supercars this time around than previously. You have more Ferraris, more Aston Martins, and things like that. Before it was more like street cars, and you'll see that in the later games. This is what happens in the franchises, that the cars just become more like they're more fast cars than slower cars in the game. There are obviously a few at the start, but generally not. So yeah, but that's my verdict on the fourth game. It's very good. The graphics are good. The drifting is very good. And yeah, this definitely is a successor, and it keeps it. It's more of a linear game than the previous title. So you basically just go race to race, and you don't really have much choice in how you want to play the races out. Here you do a little bit, but in the next games definitely not. But it's a great game nonetheless. Asphalt 5. Not a big fan of this game. That's mainly because I didn't like the style of the racing, basically. I don't know how to say it. I just didn't like the drifting wasn't as good. Even though I keep talking about how the drifting got better, this time I really didn't like it. I thought the physics were more wonky than before. Not quite correct. You're always crashing into things, and I don't know, it's just not quite right. It also didn't seem like a big improvement over the fourth game at all, in fact. A lot of the tracks were already recycled from previous games, and especially the cars as well. So there wasn't a whole lot here. It was just an upgrading in graphics. But I don't think the physics were upgraded though. That's the main issue, is that there's not enough new. Unless you're liking graphics, this game isn't really an improvement over the fourth game. Asphalt 6. Asphalt 6 is pretty good. This is an upgrade to the fifth game. For my opinion, better frames, better graphics again, and a bigger variety in cars. There are more weird cars this time around. There are definitely more cars in this game. Also, the drifting style has improved the game a lot, because now the drifting was improved over the fifth game, I think. Also, the driving was improved and everything. The sense of speed as well, all that. New tracks. There's a number of new tracks in this game, which is nice. Also, it included a feature that would last in the series, where once you had a full nitrous bar, you could unleash like a more powerful nitro when you filled up the bar. That was a very nice feature. It started in this game, and I feel like it's kind of, the older games kind of suffer not having this, but it was a great addition. Like I said, new cars, better sense of speed, all that. It made for a good Asphalt game. Asphalt 3D. This game sucks. I might go back and review it one day, but I'm not sure about that. Frame rate was terrible. The car selection was no better than the previous games. It was essentially just a rip-off. Not really rip-off, but just a port of the sixth game, and it was done worse. The graphics don't look as good, I don't think, and the frame rate suffers. And I think the control, despite it being physical controls, is not actually making the game any better, despite the previous games that had physical controls handling just as good or even better than the touch controls, or accelerometer, whatever. So yeah, the 3DS game was not good at all. Don't recommend it. It was too much money, not enough frames per second, and just lack of quality generally. Well, okay, so Asphalt Injection, that was PS Vita one. This game is not really talked about, and that's because no one cared. It's a lot like 7, but worse. A bit like, it's like a between Adrenaline and Heat, Asphalt 7. It has a good sense of speed, but it suffers a little bit. The control is fine, but in some way it feels less exciting. I don't know why. But the game is good, has very nice graphics, very nice graphics. I'll give the game that. A lot of cars to choose from, and you know, this was like the more linear style, basically just go from race to race and all that. Lots of cars to choose from, which was nice as well. But in some ways it just wasn't as good, I don't think. I don't know why. It seemed less exciting than the iPhone version, and but that's it. But in terms of a technical aspect, it was good. It was good, but don't really know if you wanted to pay full price. Asphalt 7. Now, this game has great graphics. That's the start. Is when you play this game for the first time, you'll see the graphics are very good. It's a huge improvement over the sixth one, and including the gameplay. The car selection is also very good. It's up to date, just as they've always been going on with. The car selection is up to date. They look very nice. The aesthetics are very appealing. The drifting and handling is all very good. It's all arcadey, but it's very good. Yeah, it's a really good game. Can't say too much on it because there isn't a whole lot to say. The locations are very varied and beautiful as well. And but yeah, generally everything about this game it's just a general improvement over the sixth game. Everything, all aspects of the game, the car selection, graphics, the gameplay, the handling, everything like that is all just an improvement. Asphalt 8, it looks even better than 7. Unfortunately, it has microtransactions, but it also has multiplayer. I don't remember if the seventh game has multiplayer because I didn't play it very much, unfortunately. But the 8th game had multiplayer that was fun. There was not a very basic customization system, even more so than the previous games, unfortunately. The car selection is a giant in the game, though. It's bigger than all the previous games. Also, the locations are even better. The graphics are gorgeous in the game. The music is great in that game as well. The only real drawback is, yeah, the microtransactions, but the gameplay of the game is really good from what I played. I really like it. It's very exciting, fast paced, and everything like that. It feels right. So what's my overall verdict? Asphalt series is a pretty decent series. I understand why it doesn't have a lot of like. It feels like a rip-off of Need for Speed, even though it really kind of isn't. It kind of formed on its own, eventually. But yeah, what can I say? It's a good game. It's a good series that improved over time, and obviously had some fallbacks and things like that. And I understand why it gets criticism. But my top three. Well, I don't know if I can put it in order because it's going to be difficult to. Sometimes it depends on the day, really. But I would honestly say the first, the second, and the fourth, and perhaps maybe just maybe instead of like Asphalt 4 or something, it might even be like 7 or 8, because I thought those games brought it back really. Because of 5, I didn't care too much for 6, even though it was good. Same with 7, but I really enjoyed 8 and 7 for the not very much time that I played it. So yeah, if I was gonna have instead of a top 3 or top 5, it would be 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. Those are the ones I enjoyed the most, the ones I played the most. So yeah, that's my verdict. And thanks for watching the video. I want to know what you guys think of the Asphalt series and which one's your favorite, which one do you not like the least. But that's it, guys.